All right, welcome back to the hobby bench today, and we have got a Cobra 140 GTL. I think this is what this is in this box. So just got this in from eBay and have no idea whether it works or not. The description on the that the seller put on there was a green sticker on the top of it that said something about it working, but it didn't look like that to me. So we're going to open it up and we're going to see what we get and go from there. Maybe we'll get lucky and it'll work, and we just need to do an alignment and a recap, or maybe we got a bunch of troubleshooting to do. I have no idea. We are going to find out. It didn't look like it was a bad looking unit, so we'll see. Oh, gotta love packing peanuts. I hate when people, so that's how they put it in here. Cobra 140 GTL. All right, let's see if we can get it out of this packaging here. That's a heavy little guy. I've never had a 140 GTL before. This is my first one of these. All right. Let's get that box out of the way. Why she packed the crap out of it. And this was at least the return address is a woman. All right. Yeah, she did pack the stinking crap out of it. I don't even know how to get into that. All right, let's try right here. Making some headway there. You have to watch me unpack this thing from. Hopefully my camera doesn't flake out on me and then you lose me. And I have to cut the video segment or something. I'll tell you what, let's set this, well, maybe not. Let's see if we can set this down. No, ain't gonna work. All right, let me just tear at it a little bit here. I'll give this to her. She gets an A rating for packing. My God. We're getting into it. Taking a while. Okay. Layer number 1 out of the way. How many layers are we gonna go through? I knew it. I knew it. My hands were gonna hit the button, and this was gonna stop recording. So basically, we had 3 layers of packing material here on this thing, and we're finally getting down to it. There's the green sticker that I was talking about. No idea what that's supposed to mean. It says, looks like it says okay, 1214. All right, she's out. Kind of a heavy radio. Never had one of these. All right, so you know what? Let's see where it was made. I think this is a Taiwan-made radio, and that's really what piqued my interest on it. Was it was made in Taiwan? All right, you know, something tells me I should open this thing up and look at it. I don't like that. Looks like somebody had modded it at one point. Don't like that. I'll tell you what, let's flip it over. Well, let's just take all the screws out of it. Yeah, it looks like somebody probably had some type of channel mod or something on this thing. It might end up being I got a good deal on it. I mean, it was cheap. It was like 70 bucks. I mean, hell, just if anything, it's worth it for the parts. Just to have a whole chassis full of filters and transistors. tuning coils, things like that. So I won't consider it a total loss if it's all jacked up inside and somebody butchered it. But we'll see. I'll take all these covers off. I don't know if this top screw here needs to come out. Never had one of these. I do have the Sans manual for it. Looks like it might have to. Let's see. All right. Doesn't look like somebody's gotten in here and jacked around with the PLO. That kind of looks like that would be stock. To look in the Sam's manual, but it sure doesn't look like anything's been done to the PLO. I wonder what the big hole, gaping hole over here was for. You can see that. Big nasty hole. All right, let's flip it over. See what this side looks like. Oh, I'm still missing a screw. Cow. All right, there we go. Oh, nice, convenient. We've got can't tell which one is positive and negative. Let's see. Can't even see it written on there. So we'll just do this. I'm just going to put a mark here. And then we'll just mark this. Then we know which side came from where. All right, so the speaker is off. I'll have to check in later and see if that works. All right, so what are we looking at? All right, already I see a couple of cut wires here. So somebody did do some type of mod to the PLL at some point. I see 2 wires soldered to the top side. That's stupid. There, that'll help. Kind of see in there and see what's going on. Yeah, I don't know. Is there anything else that's been modded? Who knows? Somebody's been playing twisty-turny back here with this this little guy here. That probably the trap. I don't know if that's the 54 megahertz trap or that is. Don't know anything about these radios. All right, well. See some dried glue down there. That's probably going to be a problem. Well, let's fire it up and see what happens. All right, give me a second. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's just do it. I can do it. One hand. All right, we're already running just an amp as current on our power supply. So put that in there. Put this in there. And then let's see what our settings here are. So let's go to AM there, CB, take the noise blanker out. At least the meter's not frozen. Turn the squelch all the way down. We're going to leave it off. RF gain all the way up. Voice lock in the center. All right. Let's stick a... Oh, it's a 5-pin. All right, I wasn't expecting that. Was not expecting that. I think it's a 5-pin. Oh, I grabbed a 6-pin. There's a 5-pin. All right, so we got a mic into it, mic adapter. All right, let's throw some power on. It's not drawing anything right now off. That's good. All right, here we go. Hey, it power's on. Display works. That's a good sign. All right, let's go ahead and put it into the RF generator. We're generating an S9 signal right now. And she's doing, oh, there we go. Hold on, bear with me, setting the bench up here as we go. All right, I don't hear anything, but it looks like she is receiving. Let's go down to, say, minus 90 dB. Did that change much? Doesn't look like it did. Minus 100 dB. All right, so it looks like it definitely is receiving. But we are not hearing anything. Yep, she's receiving, but we're not hearing anything. I'll have to try to hook up the speaker and see if the speaker works. All right, so let's go ahead and just key it. Let's raise our power up. She's not drawing much more than 0.2 amps over there, so that's cool. We'll go ahead and key it and see if she actually keys, transmits. Well, she keys up. It's got a tone. See that? All right, so let's see what her AM waveform looks like. Let's take it back out of there. Let's get into our RF sampler so we can check it out. All right, so let's look up here and see what our AM waveform looks like. Let's dead key first, set our scope up. If you can see that or not. It's close enough, I guess. Oh, that doesn't look good. Oh yeah, she's way overdriven. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Jeez. All right. Let's see what she's doing on sideband. How about that? Let me get some button presses here. Give me a second. All right. Now we'll look at her Got her in lower now. We'll see what she's doing as far as sideband linearity. Oh, that's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Ooh, hoo, 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 hoo. Wow. All right. Well, we got some work cut out for us, looks like. Let's see how much power. Oh, let me hold on. Key that up again. Oh, yeah. She's pushing way too much power there. Holy shit. That's a lot of average power. That's probably why it looks like that. Okay. All right. Let me get the. Let me test the speaker and see if it's just the external speaker jack that's not working. I'll be back in a minute. All right, so we got the the internal speaker hooked back up, and we still hear absolutely nothing. So, all right, yeah, we got an audio problem. Okay, well, that's good to know. So, let me get the Sam's manual out and see if we can do anything about see how badly butchered it is, or if it's just a matter of making some quick adjustments to get those waveforms looking better. I'll be back in a second. All right, here we are back again, and you can hear the speaker is now working. So it seems as though our CBPA switch there, something might have to do with that, is amiss. Let's hook this back up. There's the external speaker now. So we are at minus 107 dB. And it's got 12 dB of synad on AM, so that's pretty good. Let's go to lower sideband out of curiosity. All right, there's lower sideband at 1 microvolt there, minus 107 dBm. Let's move the voice lock around a little bit. So it looks like she's pushing about 20 dBm there at 1 microvolt. So not bad. Bouncing around a little bit. All right, so that's that. So we're going to have to look into the, maybe that switch just needs some deoxit. I don't know. But that's the issue there. And I'll tell you what we're going to do now. We're going to switch over to TX. Let me show you. So we got our SSB. Not a bad looking waveform. I'll show you here. So it's in lower sideband. All right, you're going to watch that up there. Let's see. Give me a second. Button presses. And we just did an ALC adjustment here. We'll key it up. Yeah, there we go. So there's our linearity. It's not terrible. It's not great, but it's not terrible. So that's something we can, at least a starting point to work with. We've got our power down. So now we're a little bit over 4 watts average. And that's good. So yeah, so that works. Haven't figured out why AM modulation is so overblown. Let me see if I can find, seems like there's might be a limiter circuit that's been disabled. Let me dig around a little bit. All right, so I found the culprit here. So we have a resistor that was cut to quote unquote better make this radio better perform, huh? Right there, R104, you see that? So that resistor is actually cut. You can see that right there. I just pushed it back into place because I wanted to show you. So if I key up now, let me dead key here, make sure we're centered up. Now we're pretty close to centered. All right, so there's our linearity there. But watch what happens when I move out. I can find it again here. Right there. There it is. I'm going to move R14. There we go. Just kicked it out of place. And then look at that sloppiness. Yep. All right. So we're going to replace that. So R104 is actually off the AMC transistor here. Let me see if I can show you. All right. here. You see that? Let's see if I can zoom out this way and look in. There we go. So here's our R104 right here, this 10K, right off the base of this transistor, the AMC TR33. So we'll go ahead and we'll get that reestablished, and then we'll take a look at it again. So let me get a 10K in there and I'll be back. Okay, so we've got a new resistor in place here for R104. You can see it right there. There's a new 10K in place, and we'll take a quick look at our linearity. First, we'll just dead key it here. And there we are on the scope, about 4 divisions wide, and I'll add some modulation. So yeah, we got that fixed. That was cool. And yeah, so that's about it, I think. I sprayed some deoxit in the CBPA switch, and that seemed to make it better. Probably could stand to be changed. I don't know if I've got a radio that I could take one from. Maybe I've got a 146 chassis that I might be able to steal it from. I don't know. But I mean, all in all, the faceplate doesn't look bad. Channel display works on every digit, and the meter works. So yeah, I might not mess with it. It works all right now. SYNAD testing is sensitivity testing is pretty decent now. And back here, we talked about this earlier. This is the 54 megahertz trap is way back here, according to Sam's manual. And it doesn't look like it's ever been messed with. This is a 27 megahertz adjustment here, and this has been adjusted, but it doesn't look bad. We can look at it here. Let me just key up. So right here, our markers are at 27.1850 megahertz, channel 19. Then we're at 54 megahertz here and 108 megahertz here. So we're looking at a couple harmonics. And we'll key it up. And there's our dead key. And then we'll add some modulation. And there's a little bit of something popping out there at 54 megahertz. But I mean, it's basically 60 plus dB down. So I'm not really concerned about it. Yeah, that's about it. So I think it's a good starting point now. I've got those wires out that were on the PLL. So whatever was in there at one point is now out. And now, you know what? I'm kind of curious. Let's just dead key it. So we're on channel 19 now. Let's just dead key it and see if it's how close it is to being on frequency. So about 65 hertz off. All right, what about on channel 1 there? Let's see what it does. So again, about 80 hertz off or so. And 40, and we'll do 40. And she's about 70 hertz off. So that's not bad. So at least we know that the PLL circuit is intact and working properly. So that's good. So yeah, I think at this point, we'll go ahead and just recap the whole radio, and then we'll give it a decent transceiver alignment, and then see where we stand. I think there's some room for improvement on the sideband linearity for sure. The AM waveform looks okay. I'm really interested to see where the bias is set on the driver and final, and that might be, well, you know, if you've seen my previous videos, I always start there when it comes to sideband linearity. I start the bias. So when I do the transceiver alignment, I'll start there, and then as far as sideband linearity is concerned, I'll start up there at the bias, and then I'll work my way back and see if I can clean that waveform up a little bit better. You know what? I'll tell you what. Let's do this. Let's turn this on up here, and I'm just kind of curious. We'll set this up for. Let's see. We're going to set this up for a two-tone test one more time, and we'll put it in the lower sideband. Back to channel 19 here, and then we'll set up our spectrum analyzer up here. Let's see. Set it for 27.1840 megahertz. And we'll set our span at 30 kilohertz wide. And then, so let's key it up there and see what we see. All right, so there's our sideband linear. Not bad. And let's see. I am not seeing that signal up there though. Oh, that's why. Hold on. Forgot. Let's give it something to work with. How about that? There we go. Right now we should see it up there. There we go. All right, now let's set our level right. Okay, so yeah, it's not terrible. There's definitely some room for improvement there. There's a little bit of hack and trash here, a little bit of third order intermodulation distortion popping up here, but we can get rid of that, I'm sure. So yeah, we'll work on, see if we can make some improvements there. All right, so next thing up is to go ahead and recap it, and then we'll start the transceiver alignment, and then we'll be back. So hold tight. Okay, so we have got all the electrolytics replaced in this old girl, and yeah, turned out good. Have not done a, turn that down, have not done an alignment on it yet. Just got the caps done, just figured I'd fire it back up and make sure it worked, which it does. So I think what I'm going to do now is I think I'm going to unlock the clarifier on this before I align it. It'd probably make more sense to do that. So yeah, so we got all new caps throughout the entire PCB. Everything's been changed. So yeah, so looking, I didn't realize this, but this is, I believe, to be basically the same board as what's in a unit in Washington. So yeah, unlocking the clarifier will be simple on this. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done now before I continue on, and then I'll do the, I'll finish off the transceiver alignment. And then we'll take a look at what you can do after the fact. So stay tuned. We'll be back. All right, we're back, and we have the clarifier unlocked. Transceiver alignment is finished. So yeah, went pretty decent. Was able to go through, started with the bias as far as sideband linearity adjustments, and got that set right, and then walk through, and I'll show you the, see, what are we in now? So we're in upper now. We'll go to lower first, channel 19, and we'll key it up here, and we'll look at the oscilloscope. So there is our lower sideband linearity, nice and smooth and pretty. And then here it is up on the spectrum analyzer. We cleaned that up as well. Got some of that third order intermodulation distortion out of there, and looks good. And we'll look at upper as well real quick. So we'll go to upper, and you've already seen the AM modulation waveform as well. All right, so we'll key up here in upper. There's upper, looking great. And then same thing up there, except it's going to be off frequency. We had it set for 28.184 megahertz, so we're a little bit off there. But yeah, cleaned up nice. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. All right, so we'll just get the cleaned up, get the covers back on it, see if we can hear anybody DXing, and then we'll call it a day. We'll be back. Some really weak signals coming in there on 38. It's nighttime now, so Skip is pretty much gone, but yeah, super weak signals. But yeah, you can still hear them out there. But yeah, so it's back together now, and working great. And it was a fun little project, and get to learn something. Didn't realize that Cobra 140 GTLs were basically a unit in Washington and a mobile package. You got to remember, folks, I'm not a CB shop. This is just a hobby to me, working on radios. Avionics is my career, and this is just, well, this whole bench here is just a hobby. So yeah, I definitely haven't seen every radio out there, every CB or 10 meter radio out there by a long shot. So I learn something new every day. But yeah, I like these little 142s. I mean, sorry, Cobra 140 GTLs. I'm going to see if I can pick myself up a couple more of these. I've got a couple of Unit in Washington base stations, and I love them. They're great listeners on sideband, and this one seems to be the same way as far as its sensitivity. Once I got it aligned, I was pushing pretty close to 20 dB at 1 microvolt, which is pretty fantastic for a CB radio. So yeah, just like the unit in Washington's, it's got some great ears. So yeah, Clarifier unlock went great. Recap went great. A couple little minor things was the CBPA switch, which seems to be working fine now after having some deoxit run through it and got to work all the gunk out. And the cut limiter circuit. But other than that, pretty solid little radio, and hopefully it'll last for a while longer before it breaks down and I have to repair it again. And hopefully it'll be another 20 years from now. So till next time we get another project, we'll see you and say 73s.